quantitative data is generally about measuring stuff and answers questions like, what is it and how is it, or how much of it is there? As the name implies, quantitative data measures things that are quantifiable, that is, countable. Qualitative data, on the other hand, measures things that aren't so easily quantified, like what did you think about this activity? Why did you attend this session? Or how would you improve the event next time? Some metrics, like NPS, attempt to take data that is typically qualitative and quantify it so that it's easier to track and follow. NPS, or Net Promoter Score, measures the likelihood of recommending your event to someone else. It measures advocacy and is therefore closely linked to both satisfaction and loyalty. However, while NPS can give you an idea of how likely someone is to recommend your event, the score alone won't tell you what's driving that sentiment. That makes it hard to act on. Quantitative data is valuable when it comes to delivering the what, but qualitative data is crucial for determining the why. Qualitative data adds the context and nuance required to action a lot of the insights from your engagement and other data. It's tempting to rely on quantitative data for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's often more straightforward to analyse, and secondly, with tech providers constantly improving and finding new things to measure, it's pretty easy to come by, especially when it comes to measuring engagement. Virtual event platforms can usually track an attendee's journey throughout the event, from their clicks and scheduled meetings with sponsors to their time in particular live streams. These insights are really valuable as preliminary engagement indicators, and you can often make assumptions about, for example, how well received a session was based on how many people attended it and how long they stayed. Before the pandemic, on-site engagement for event technology was also gearing up to try and automate sentiment analysis through things like facial recognition, which was already being implemented in many events to speed up the check-in process. These technologies promise to be able to provide reliable and easy-to-come-by data that can help to corroborate or support other types of audience sentiment analysis, like surveys. That's where qualitative data comes in, to provide context and a more nuanced understanding of what you're seeing in your quantitative data. The most common way to collect it is to ask your attendees, or any stakeholders really, direct, open-ended questions that are designed to answer the why. A straightforward example of this is, what is the reason for the rating you gave? A question often tacked onto the end of an NPS survey. Here are some tips for getting useful feedback and enough of it. Think about what you want to know before you ask the questions. Be intentional and specific in your question design. For example, at Explory, we cross-reference customer satisfaction metrics with customer loyalty metrics to assess the health of an event brand's relationship with its audience. So it's really important to design the question in a way that lends itself to a wider analysis. Secondly, keep your survey questions to a minimum and respect your respondents' time by only asking for information that you have a clear intention to use in your analysis. For example, don't ask the number of events a respondent plans if you have no intention to segment your analysis that way. Design your questions for maximum integrity by choosing your words and question types carefully. For example, avoid questions with leading bias, such as, how strongly do you agree with the following statement? In order to have a fair way of understanding this, we would ask, how strongly do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Think about using standard questions defined by your survey platform. At Explory, for example, we recommend a set of predefined questions based on what we've seen speak to the most important metrics for a given event goal. So don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. And lastly, you can often get the most valuable insights from in-depth interviews with a select set of survey respondents, attendees, or other stakeholders. A fuller account of someone's first-hand experience can reveal factors and considerations you may otherwise never have thought of.